Do you ever stare at your natural curls and you're like, I have no idea why my hair just won't do what everyone else's hair does? Like, sometimes you're like, some black girls, like they just have that like magical trait where they can do their hair and everything looks good. And you're like, I just don't have that. And I feel like I don't know what I'm doing wrong, which I totally understand. I was once there and now I have lived to tell the stories. I have messed up so that you don't have to. And sometimes it's not even you, and it's not even necessarily like the products or the things that you're doing, but it's because you don't really understand what your hair needs. And so you're just doing stuff and buying stuff based off of what everyone else is telling you to do, but you're not actually getting to the root of the issues with your hair. And it may be screaming out for help and you really have no idea what it's saying. So welcome to my first episode of Beyond Clueless. Y'all, I'm so excited to launch my YouTube series. I have been wanting to get on YouTube for so long, but I just never really felt like I knew what I wanted to post. So I'm so excited to be starting this series. If you follow me on TikTok, Naturally Nyla B, I started a series called Clueless, which is a 30-day like natural hair crash course on all things, tips and tricks on how to take care of your hair from like the ground up. So I'm not sparing any detail. Every single thing that I could think of that I wish that I knew back when I first started, like when I was in high school, I've recalled all those journeys and lessons and I put it into the series. So I'm so excited. And so on TikTok, I'm kind of doing like the abbreviated version of every lesson, but here on YouTube, I was like, I think I really want to go further in depth and just give the girls a little bit more than what the TikTok videos can offer. So I'm so excited to kind of be able to give y'all the more in-depth series of Clueless, which is going to be Beyond Clueless. So I'm so excited. Today we are going to be doing a hair care assessment, because my biggest thing that I say, you cannot decide where you need to go if you have no idea where you are right now or where you're coming from, which I feel like I need like a church organ in the background of me saying that. The blast! Because it sounds so like spiritual and gospel, but it really is true for your hair too. And like I said earlier, some of y'all are really trying to address the symptoms of an issue instead of actually diagnosing what your hair is saying and what is wrong. So we're gonna go through a series of 4 tests, and it is going to help you be able to actually create a comprehensive hair care routine and regimen around your hair's needs. So let's get started. I also want to preface this super fast by saying that yes, my hair is straight, but like if you look at my credentials, I am a curly girl, okay? I'm wearing my hair straight right now because I just got a silk press because I need to get my hair trimmed. So I just want to add that in before y'all are like, why would I listen to this girl? Like, I totally understand, but my hair's just straight right now, but it's not always like this. Okay, so the first test that we're gonna do is the dryness test, okay? So I would really just like pull out a piece of your hair. It could be something that's still on your head, or it could be something in the brush. And I would just like rub it between your fingers, really feel it. Does it feel crunchy, rough? Does it feel brittle? Does it appear dull? All these things can be indications that your hair is dry and it is lacking moisture. So the greatest way to address dryness is to remember that hydration and moisture go hand in hand, okay? And hydration starts with water. H2O, okay? And I know this is gonna sound scary, but the best way to hydrate your hair is to get it wet. Yes, babe. It's time to wash our hair. And I know that a lot of y'all are like, I don't have the time, I don't want to incorporate it into my routine, blah, blah, blah. But I promise you, once you start washing your hair every week or every other week, it will change your life. Like genuinely, your hair is gonna be so much more moisturized. It's gonna flourish so much faster. I promise you, it really does make the difference. If you have scalp issues, your hair is going to love you for it, I promise. So like I said, hydration starts with water, okay? Also, you're gonna make sure that you're getting a good moisturizing, hydrating shampoo, okay? My favorite moisturizing shampoo is the Honey Cream shampoo from Design Essentials. I love probably everything Design Essentials, and y'all are gonna hear me mention a lot of their products in this video, but that shampoo might be one of my favorite products from them. It lathers so well, it smells so good, and my hair is just so juicy and defined after using it. My hair literally loves me when I use that product, okay? So that is gonna be like your 4th step after you've drenched your hair. If you're clarifying, you can clarify your hair with a shampoo, but I go in with that and my hair loves it. And then you're going to do some sort of deep conditioning mask, and I love using the Honey Cream mask from Design Essentials. And I feel like, the girls really like to tussle about this mask because it sometimes can be really hard to get your fingers on. I know that Ulta's like always sold out of it, but if you go to Design Essentials website, you can usually find it, and sometimes they do deals. Even full price, I feel like that product is 100% worth it. It has been something that has truly saved my hair, and whenever I know that like I'm about to go into a style that I need to like have for a couple weeks, or if I feel like my hair is just like dry in general because of like the weather, during the fall and winter seasons, our hair can get very dry and brittle very easily, because if it's not getting enough moisture from the products, it's going to reach for the air to get moisture from the air, and the air is so dry right now, it's not getting anything, so it just gets brittle and it breaks off, right? So using that shampoo and the honey cream mask have truly been like my saving grace throughout the winter season, the fall season, and I love those products so much. So those are like probably my top recommendations for like moisturizing products in terms of what you do on wash day. And then also make sure that you're using a leave-in conditioner. The way that you layer these products is going to be what really makes the difference. Make sure that you're using a leave-in conditioner. I also recommend that you use some sort of like curl cream or like, you know, moisture milk or something like that. I really love the Camille Rose moisture milk. That one's really good, and it's great for curly and for stretched hair. So if you're someone who's like, I'm a blow dried natural, that one is also a really great product for you. I also really love the Almond J twisting butter. I know a lot of people feel very averse to like butters and oils, blah 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 blah. I believe in butters and oils, and I honestly think that you should too, but the Almond J twisting butter is a great one. And then when you seal all that stuff in with the oil, it really just makes sure that your hair is fully moisturized and gives it like that protective layer of oil around to prevent breakage and to also help prevent the moisture from leaving your hair, because you know, you can start off super moisturized, but then within a day it's all gone. That means you didn't really properly seal it all in. I'm gonna make other videos talking about the LOC and the LCO method, the differences and why they're important and the steps behind them, so just stay tuned for that. I don't want to get too in depth with that right now, but moisture is very important. So those are all some things to kind of help address the dryness that you may be experiencing in your hair. Okay, so the next test we're gonna do is looking at those raggedy ends. Yes, babe, a split end search party, okay? So I would genuinely just take a section of your hair, twist it around, look at your ends, really fan them out, okay? Look at them in depth and see, do you see fairy knots? Do you see split ends? Do you see breakage? If you're pulling on it like this, are you feeling hair follicles coming right out? All these things can be indications that you have unhealthy ends. And unfortunately, unhealthy ends can't really be remedied. I know a lot of people say that they use like Olaplex or protein treatments, different things like that. They can maybe help, but the biggest thing to do to help with those ends is just to get a trim. And I'm not saying to chop all of it off at once. If you feel brave enough to do that, that's awesome. You're better than me. But I would say they definitely get on a good regimen of getting regular trims so that you can get rid of some of that damage or just some of those, like, you know, ends that are not serving you, because genuinely unhealthy ends are just going to hold you back from reaching your hair goals. Like, they're not going to get better over time, they're just going to get worse. So you might as well chop them off as slowly or as comfortably as you can, so that you can really reach your goals, whether it's length, whether it's, you know, having healthier hair in general, whether it's your scalp goals, all those things. Healthy ends are going to help with all of that. All right, our third test is going to be looking at that scalp. Okay, so I need you to go in the mirror, I need you to pull out a comb, part your hair down the middle or part it down the side, and really look deep into it. Yeah, in it. That actually is probably so cringe. I don't know if I should put that in there. Anyway, but I need you to take a comb, part it down the middle, and really look inside your scalp, okay? Like really in depth. Is it flaking? Is it super oily? Is it itchy? Does it feel tight? All these things can be indications that there's a problem happening in your scalp. And the scalp is like the ecosystem of your hair, right? So if you're having scalp issues and your scalp is screaming for help, it might be an indication that your hair is trying to tell you something as well, right? Because your hair starts at the scalp. So it's really important to pay attention to what is happening on your scalp so that you can meet your hair goals. One thing that I struggle with a lot is just like all out like flakiness and dryness in my scalp. I often have to like exfoliate and do like clarifying shampoos and then really make sure I'm going back in and punching it with moisture to make sure that I'm not like flaking up in my scalp within a week or two. One product that I absolutely love is the Briogeo Scalp Revival Micro Exfoliating Shampoo. That shampoo is so good. It is literally like a charcoal shampoo with small micro exfoliants in it, and you rub it in your hair and it lathers like a normal shampoo, but it literally uses those exfoliants to scrub off every gross layer of product buildup, any flakiness, anything like that. It is going to get it off in that one wash. I love it. Now, some people have, you know, larger flakes and more serious flaking and psoriasis. If you think that you might have scalp psoriasis, that's definitely something to go see a dermatologist about, or even you can go see a hairdresser and they can refer you to a dermatologist, because that's something that would probably only be able to be solved with like a medicated shampoo. There's also lots of like over-the-counter medicated shampoos as well that you can use that work really great for scalp psoriasis. So I would just really pay attention to that as well in terms of looking at scalp health. Also, if you feel like your scalp is just like super oily, like you're like, I parted it back and like it's an ocean under there, maybe you just kind of need to ease back on the grease and the oils in terms of your scalp, because too much oil and too much grease and too many butters on your scalp is going to cause buildup, which you can get rid of buildup by, you know, using clarifying shampoos. That's fine, but you don't want to feel like you're in a constant cycle of like overdoing buildup and then having to clarify every single week, because it can strip your hair of its natural oils and its natural ability to create oils for itself. But all of these things are things to keep in mind when we're talking about overall scalp health. And like I said, what your scalp is saying to you is going to be an indication of what your hair is trying to say to you. Okay, so our last test is going to be the elasticity test. And I feel like hair elasticity is not something that we really talk about a lot when we talk about hair care, but it's definitely something that I feel like us as natural girlies should be looking at, because we all have curly, coily hair. So your hair should be able to, when you pull it, it should be able to bounce back to a certain extent on its own. That is elasticity, right? But if you feel like you're pulling it and it's just like limp, that is an issue that maybe you are probably lacking protein. Protein is kind of like the keratin bonds and things that make up your hair. And so if it does not have that degree of elasticity, which is like a important component of your hair structure, then maybe you're missing protein. Now, I feel like protein is like the P word that gets thrown around a lot in the community, and everyone's like, I feel like I just need to do a protein treatment. That's gonna save my hair. It's gonna save my damage. It's gonna do this and this. Protein is not like a magical potion, right? But if you are lacking it, doing a protein treatment is really going to help. I've heard a lot of people say that like the Apogee 2-step protein treatment is amazing. I've heard really, really great things about it, and I think it's really common. It's also very affordable, which I think is great. The protein that I prefer to use is from Briogeo. I really like their Don't Despair Repair Mask, and I wouldn't necessarily say that that one is like marketed as a protein treatment, but it does have lots of protein in it. One thing I really, really love about it is that it uses an equal amount of protein and moisture, so it's like a moisturizing and protein treatment, which is awesome, because if you get too much of one or the other, your hair is still not going to be in a good place. If you have too much protein with not enough moisture, your hair is going to be brittle, and if you have too much moisture and not enough protein, your hair is going to be like mush. So it's really important to be able to use those things hand in hand, and that's why I really love using that particular deep conditioning mask. There's plenty of protein treatments on the market. There's K18 stuff. There's also like bond building treatments, which would be like the Olaplexes and things like that. So there is a lot of protein treatments on the market that you can choose from. Just really listen to your hair needs and figure out what you think is best for you in terms of that department. Also with protein treatments, most people recommend using them between every 4 to 6 weeks. Like I said, I am at a point where I can really kind of like feel my hair and listen to it and know when I feel like I need to use it. So I usually probably use it like once every other month or so. But that's really up to you. Also, if you have like severely damaged hair, like very heat damaged hair, or if you just have like very color treated hair, you may want to do protein treatments more often to help repair those bonds. So now that you have been able to diagnose your hair like a pro, which is an amazing skill to have, because even though we're doing that today, you can also do this, you know, every 3 months. It's really important to take an assessment of what your hair needs, honestly, every single week, but really just taking the time to look at it every so often. And you can run through these exact same steps, looking at its dryness, does it need protein, look at your ends, look at your scalp. All these things are really, really important so that you can build, like I said, a comprehensive hair regimen and just know what your hair needs from you moving forward. So I really hope that this is helpful. Comment below like what you learned about your hair today, or what you feel like your biggest hair needs are. And if there is something that you feel like you need that I didn't address today, totally let me know, because I can, you know, talk about it in the comments, or I can make a follow-up video about this where we can really talk about like very, very specific hair needs or issues that you feel like you're having with your hair. So I hope that this video was helpful to y'all, and thank you so much for like staying all the way through and watching this. I have been wanting to start a YouTube for so long, and I just feel like I have so much personality to bring to social media, and I feel like I don't always get to show that on TikTok, or I feel like TikTok only gets like a small glimpse of it. So I really just want this to feel like, you know, like just big sister, little sister, older cousin advice on like how to take care of your hair, because I really do see hair care as an extension of self-care and self-love. I hope that this is helpful, and please like, subscribe, comment, send to your friends, all the things that the YouTubers tell you to do. And I cannot wait for episode 2 of Beyond Clueless that will come out later this week. So thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.